Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy 3rd of September, 2019. This is Candace Craw-Goldman. Thank you, those of you who are joining me live. I know I've said this before, but I'm really going to try to keep it short today because I have another show at 10 a.m. and I need to start getting ready for that at half past this hour. And I can upload the recording to YouTube, but I still haven't gotten YouTube to see my branded channel on using my interface. So not exactly sure what's going on there. We're going to go live on Facebook. Anyway, this morning I'm going to answer questions because I've had so many of these in my inbox, and I'm just going to answer them so that we have a link to send to some people. And then after that, I'm going to take any questions for as long as we have time left this morning. So the questions primarily revolve around BQH, my own session schedule, and also questions about the course. And first, thank you all so much for joining me. There's Anne, there's Bibo, there's Jazine, there's Candy. It's Candy and Laura that I'm going to be talking to coming up real soon at 10 o'clock. There's Priscilla and Nina. They're all BQH practitioners, by the way. So you could be asking any of them some of these questions too, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to these questions. I'm gonna get right to it. So number one, I wanna thank all of my wonderful previous clients and clients that would like to have a session with me for waiting. I have closed my appointment book basically until today, and it's open. So I am now taking sessions. I'm gonna be booking at least to the end of this year. Beginning in September, I think there's still a few spots left in September into the next year, and I cannot do sessions every day. I just can't. There's too much on my plate running the community, running the course, and doing the other things that I'm doing. So I have a limited availability, but my notebook and appointment book is open, so you can contact me. I'll put my email below in the links, but it's Candace Craw-Goldman, no hyphens, CandacecrawGoldman @gmail.com. And that's how you can contact me about a session for anytime the rest of 2019, as long as they last, okay? So that's number one. Number two, these are questions about the BQH course. And I mean, I just finished, I think I sent out 5 emails this morning answering, and I keep answering the same questions over and over again. So this video is a little bit to try to get ahead of that. A lot of people want to know, is QHHT, Dolores's course, is that a prerequisite to the BQH course? And the answer to that is absolutely not. It is not, and it's not in any way associated with those who currently distribute the QHHT course after Dolores's class. It's nothing. We have no connection at all. There is no prerequisite. So a lot of people want to take both, and that's great. Many of us have, and many of us do. So a lot of people want to know, well, then is BQH for beginners? And I want to be very, very clear about this next thing that I'm going to say. So there's many reasons why BQH was created, many. But the number one reason that it was not created was to disrespect Dolores or to replicate her course, because it just does not do that in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, there are a number of very specific details where it's the complete opposite. Now, how is it the same? Well, it still works with consciousness exploration. It's still based on the concept of the very basic concept of past life regression, but we've gone so far beyond that. And of course, that's where part of its name has come beyond, because we've just gone beyond all of that, right? So BQH absolutely is and was created for beginners. And here's one of the reasons that it was created. I have found that many courses out there, many that have been out there and have been out there for years in consciousness exploration and healing modalities, they don't begin with the basic concepts, the basic foundational structures that you need to know about consciousness and energy to even start all this work. And supporting practitioners as I have for 11 years now, what I have found is so many of us, and I'm including myself, We learned those things after the fact, after we took the classes. And in my view, that was not the best way, right? It would have been much better to understand energetics and consciousness basics before ever starting to take the course. That's one huge reason BQH was created. So it talks about these things. And some even very experienced practitioners who've been practicing other methods for years have come back to me and said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have learned this decades ago. So it fills in some holes, and it really talks about some of these basic concepts that really change everything for you as a practitioner and as a service to others provider. Okay. So, well, then what about experienced practitioners? That was the next question. And well, like I just said, I think it fills in some holes for very experienced practitioners. It also allows and celebrates all of the skills and understanding and wisdom that advanced practitioners have gained over the years. And it says, bring all of that, use all of that. Have you taken this modality? Have you learned that skill? Is this something that you practice in another way? Bring that to BQH. It says, this is great. As a matter of fact, we encourage creativity, encourage it. We encourage bringing all of your skills to sessions. And this, believe it or not, is unusual out there. Primarily, many modalities out there say, here is how you do it. Here are these steps. Do not ever alter these steps. And BQH says on that, it says you might do that, and people end up doing it anyway, right? At least from my perspective, and I think I have a pretty good perspective, as I have supported many thousands of quantum healing practitioners since 2008. Okay. The next big question is about online sessions. A lot of people, two of the emails I answered this morning were about the online sessions, wanting to know about that. And there's a lot of fear surrounding it. First off, we cover this completely in the course. We absolutely do. Second off, it's really not that big a deal. It's really not. We put safeguards in place. We cover all of the aspects. We talk about it. And yet, at the end of the day, this is the important part. If you, or if your client, and that is you or your client's belief systems, if you believe that online sessions are unwise, then don't do them. It's just pretty much that easy. We as humans are living so much of our lives online, and it's just not that big of a deal. It just really isn't that big of a deal. And again, there are safeguards, there are things that we can do, and there's a lot of different ways that we consider what goes on in this connection using the internet that we know sometimes can be fickle. So there you go. It's pretty much that easy. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's another big question that people ask all the time. How many sessions do you have to have before you're certified to practice the method? Other courses out there make you do, I don't know, 25, 50, I don't even know how many they require you to do in certain ways and for free or for discounts or for donations, or I don't even know what. That's not my business what other courses do, but we make it very simple at BQH. As a matter of fact, we do exactly what Dolores did when I took Dolores's quantum healing course, her past life regression course back in 2008. You take the course, you get certified. Take the course, you're certified. You don't have to send anything. You don't have to tell us about anything, because guess what? That's your practice. You get to decide when you do your sessions. Okay. And in that same vein, as far as charging for your sessions, that's your business. That's not our business. I'm not here to run anybody else's business but mine. So charge what you want, when you want, and see how it works out for you. That's not up to us. So those are all of the questions that I have about BQH that I have written down right here. And Bebo, who jumped right in on this YouTube put some questions in about the event that I'm going to answer next. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and I'll get to as many as I can, or quit at 9:30, whichever comes first. Okay. And first, I need to sip of this coffee. All right. So Bibo was asking about the thing that we all know out there as the event, and so there's a lot of practitioners who do quantum healing work or consciousness exploration that are getting information about the event, and some of us get more information than others. Of course, BQH practitioner Allison Coe has done a lot of talking about the event. I've had, of course, information come through. A lot of people really focus on it, but these are the specific questions that Bibo asked. So I'm going to go answer them. And I don't know that I'm going to answer them in order because of the way I would like to answer them. So she asks, what are the triggers? When is the day? Are there reasons given for the alternate dates and the confusion of dates and sessions? And are we not meant to know? She asks all of those questions. Okay, so here's the way I look at it. So the event, well, what is it? Well, a lot of people have a lot of theories. A lot of people, connect it to a solar flash or some sort of big light flash in the sky that's going to change everything and change our world. Okay, so if you just take it as that simplistic or, basic of a description about what could be a monumental event for, of course, all of creation on this planet, we'll just call it the event. Is it going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? I don't know. Some sessions say that it's absolutely going to happen. It's already happened. There is no real linear time. So if you look at it from that concept, the event has already happened, right? It's already happened. There's some information that comes in session that says, look, this thing's going to happen generations from now. We're just prepping you for it. But then, you can think in terms of biblical prophecies about, the second coming and, all of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. If it's already happened, then the only thing that's available to you as an individual human, from my understanding of doing all of this work, is you get to kind of, one way or another, pick which timeline you're going to be on to experience this. And this is the primary message that I've gotten from my own clients who have talked about it. And I have to tell you that my own clients don't focus on this. My clients focus on their own personal health, well-being, life, etc. And they aren't that focused on this cosmic information. They may ask, but it's not typically the type of client that I attract. My clients typically are far more practically minded as far as 3D concerns are concerned. Okay, so the idea is, well, there's different timelines, right? And there's so many different ways you can think about that. My favorite person who talks about timelines is Bashar. And another person who made a really great description about timelines once that I haven't watched anything of his in a long time, but there's a fella out there named Bentinho Massaro. And he described timelines once in this really unique way. And I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase him right now, because this is an easier way to describe timelines and how they might work. And it's so bear with me. It's interesting. It's detailed. It's very specific, but I loved it. So imagine you're in a great big room. Let's even say it's like a gymnasium, an auditorium. Well, time really isn't. It's not linear, meaning this second really isn't connected to this second, isn't connected to this second. It's actually tiny bits that are all reality creations in each millisecond, really. But if we even just say seconds, right? Each second is its own world, is its own creation. And it is our consciousness that picks all these creations and strings them together. That becomes a timeline. That becomes our life. That becomes our focus. Okay, so are you with me? So imagine that maybe you're in this great big gymnasium. And let's say the event is all the way on the other side. The doors are open, you know, the lights coming in, the vent's on the other side, and you're at the far end of the gymnasium. And or maybe it's even the end of your life, whatever. You're going to go, you're heading that way with this live stream. He said, imagine every second of your life being like a tiny Post-it note piece of paper, a tiny Post-it note. Each second of your life, or each day of your life, you can put it down to whatever, measuring you want there. But he says, imagine a timeline being like this. Since everything is already created, all of those Post-it notes of everything that's possible in your life as a human, they're already completely covering this gymnasium floor. It's completely covered because everything already existed. Everything's already there. But you as a singular consciousness stream, you get to, as you're picking up Post-it notes and going, you don't have to do like a straight line and get straight to the other end of the side. You can deviate and go this way. You can go on this time. You can go on this time. You can go on this time. And what I really love is the idea that there's a version of you doing all of that. And you're just focused on one version going on a certain path. So can you imagine you're at this end of the gymnasium and there's an infinite number of you taking all of these different paths, picking up all of these different Post-it notes of all of these different seconds or days, getting to the end of your life, or the life as a collective in human terms. It's just, think of it that way. And that's what timeline hopping's all about. And that's why sometimes it's very difficult to go from the Post-it note that's right in the middle of the gymnasium all the way over to the one that's over by the wall. That's a huge jump. And that could be anything. It could be a physical thing. Maybe I have a really awful disease right here and I want to be over there because that Post-it note part of timeline, there's no disease over there. That's a big timeline jump, right? And that's kind of how consciousness exploration works, and kind of how these BQH sessions work. Because in these sessions, when you take away the analytical insistence of linear time in a BQH session, you can assist a client to get on a new timeline, maybe wherever it is in that gymnasium. And some people find themselves only altering a little bit their path, or they begin a gradual movement over to a different timeline because that's the way they can accept it. And other people go whomp and they made a big leap and gone on to a completely different path. What do we call those? We as humans call those miracles or spontaneous remissions or just, crazy stuff, man. Crazy life. So these things are possible. So that's what's going on here. So same with, health, with personal life, with us as a collective. How are we going to experience the timeline? I say there's a version of us that has picked the event that happened instantaneously, and maybe it's already happened. Maybe it's on that side of the gymnasium, and you and I who are talking about it, we're over here in the middle going, yeah, we took the more gradual path. This is the way I look at it. Because it's truly, all things are possible. All variations are typically thought of to be happening at the exact same time. So really trying to peg it down to a date, that's not going to really work. Why are sometimes predictions and dates easy, and why sometimes do they work? Because psychics or people who are on similar timeline paths see that that's just right up ahead. Those Post-it notes are just a step away or whatever. And they can tend to be right. Why? Because we as human beings tend to repeat today, just like we repeated yesterday, just like we repeated the day before. We tend to be going this way, right? Another great reason to have a BQH session or do really anything in this way that shakes things up, where you might, jump over a little bit and start going down a different path. I hope that answers your question. Okay, now I'm going to scroll up and see if there's any other questions. Got 10 minutes, so any questions that come up, I'm going to try to answer. Good morning, Jolie. Hi, Linda. Hi, Teresa. Scylla says she loves doing online sessions. Me too. 95% of mine anymore are online, and I love it. I really, really do. As a matter of fact, I heard Allison Coe talking about she's dumping in-person sessions altogether right now. Just works out easier for her with being a parent and etc. And I get it. I get it. Okay. Yeah, Jazine says she wants to know about the new Earth and the event. She feels so close. Well, you feel it inside of you. And who knows what that really means, close, right? Could you be feeling it intensely for your children or your grandchildren? Maybe it's waking up in your DNA because of that. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know. Also, I just watched a Corey Good interview. He was in an SETI conference, and he was talking a little bit about this and about the solar flash and about those who are kind of our space brothers and sisters, talking about disclosure and other things like that. And it seems from his description that we are on that more moderate, slow drip of information kind of timeline. Okay, Anne asks, how are the courses taken, and do you have an estimate for the price on this? Thank you so much. Easy. BQH course is fully online, and the price for that is $333 US. Even though the BQH is fully online, here's what we do though. Every single month we do a live webinar. And every single month, we have an opportunity to get together live within the course, but also, of course, for 1 year, we provide BQH student support on our quantumhealers.com support form. So you can chat with people there for up to a year after signing on to the course, including myself. I'm always there to answer questions. And then we take the recordings of those webinars and we put them in the BQH course. So there is, 10 or 12 webinars now that are in the BQH course for anyone who signs up for it now that weren't there a year ago, because I add one every month. And we talk in the community, what do we want to talk about? What are we covering? There's additional, people who come in and answer questions. We did some mock sessions. We do lots of Q&A. We talk about how we find and talk to clients. We talk about just anything that comes up and anything that we seem to need to connect with and talk about. Okay, what's a good place for Geostorm to go on vacation this time of year? Oh gosh, I don't know. Vacation. What's a vacation? Let me know what that is. And maybe I can talk to you about that someday. Yeah, Candy says they get that message that you get to choose. You really do get to choose. I mean, on some level, right? A lot of people misunderstand this concept of choosing, thinking that you're choosing on a very conscious temporal level, not always. Okay, if that, we choose everything. So example, I choose to experience a debilitating illness. Well, would I ever choose that on a conscious level? No, I would not. But our higher self chooses it. And I'm getting prompted right now to mention, I've got 6 minutes left, prompted to mention this. I am a mother of 2 children. I spent both of my pregnancies, high-risk pregnancies, in bed. With my first child, I was in bed for 7 weeks. She was born at 37 weeks, completely healthy. Everything was wonderful. With my second child, I knew that the same thing might happen again. I had a 33% chance, and yes, it happened again. What was my thing? It was preterm labor. There's a long story about, I much better understanding about all of that right now. With my second child, I was in bed for 5.5 months. This is while having a toddler. Would I ever have chosen this? Nope. Of course I wouldn't have. It was horribly difficult for everyone involved. My second child, of course, he too was born completely, both of them were a little early, but both of them are completely normal adults. Everything's great. Would I ever have chosen these paths if I was given a conscious input to that, my conscious mind? Hey, Candace, do you want to spend 5.5 months in bed and then give birth and not being able to take care of your toddler this whole time? No. But what happened? I learned lots of incredible lessons. I learned about patience. I learned about people who are bedridden. I know what being bedridden is about. When you have to lay in one spot for 5.5 months, and it is a good day when you're allowed to take a shower or to pee on a toilet instead of a bedpan, I know what being bedridden is about. And I know that compassion and that understanding has served me well as a BQH practitioner. Okay. Oh, coming down to 4 minutes. All right. Hi, Amanda. Do you think this predominantly people in the Northwest that are talking about the event? I don't know about that at all. I think maybe people in the Northwest, they just maybe typically more awakened or more vocal about being awakened. Okay. Here I am in Kansas and you'd be surprised, but they're just more vocal about it, I think. Okay. Oh, hi, Karen. Karen says she just signed up for the BQH course. Welcome, Karen. That's great. Okay. And then another Karen, this time with the C, feeling ready for online sessions, excited. I know it'll help me. It'll allow me to help a broader group of people. Here's the thing. We're really comfortable with online stuff now. We do everything online, right? And doing this online, we have relationships online, we communicate online. It's kind of this leftover fear thing. And a lot of people give this idea of hypnosis. There's a lot of fear wrapped around it as well. I was thinking this morning as I was getting ready to prepare for answering this question, and would you be afraid to, have a meditation with another person online? Would you be afraid to pray with somebody online? That seems kind of silly, right? But that's kind of what this is. BQH and quantum healing, it's a deep prayer. It's a deep meditation with the guidance of somebody else. Is that anything to be afraid of? We've sort of programmed people to be afraid of hypnosis because we think it's some sort of mind control. Well, let me tell you what, there's a lot more control of our mind through the information that is fed to us via all of our systems and the lack and the blocking of other information. So that's more mind control than getting up with somebody else and exploring your own inner depths of your own inner consciousness. All right, getting ready to, okay, wait, here's a question. What is the QHHT problem that I see more often? I don't know what that really means. You mean with clients or with people who take the course? Or try to rephrase your question and I will definitely answer it, but we are down to 1 minute. Rebecca says, she says some very nice things. She's a QHHT practitioner. Didn't you love Dolores? And planning on taking the BQH course. That's great. We'd love to have you. Just love to have you. Thank you so much. I love your purple heart. Thank you so much. Hi. The medium that rocks is here. Teresa Shaw, is there a possibility to focus a portion of a session on quitting smoking? Sure you can. It's not that kind of hypnosis, meaning traditional hypnosis is the hypnotist or hypnotherapists instills or suggests or encourages a new way of thinking and basically directs the client. You will now, as an example, you will now feel nauseous every time you see a cigarette. You know, it's this directed thing from a practitioner to a client. That is your basic stop smoking kind of concept. That's your basic hypnosis, hypnotherapist, procedural kind of thing going on. Well, BQH, that's why there's the word hypnosis is not in BQH, because it's so not that. What we do is it's directed to the client. It's an inner discovery and an inner searching of the client. It's not, okay, now I'm the hypnotist and I'm going to tell you what to think. Maybe that's the kind of attempt at a thought control or habit control kind of thing. It doesn't work like that. People smoke for all kinds of reasons. And yes, you can find that out as well as anything, or you can ask to find that out as well as anything in a BQH session. Reminds me of one very interesting client I had years ago who was actually told to not stop smoking because it was a connection. It was, what was it? It kept a connection with the planet through through the ingesting of the tobacco spirits, and kept a lineage going and also an understanding of air quality in the planet or something like that. It's been so long, but I remember being a little shocked at that session. I was like, well, I bet this person's going to be happy when she sat up, because they said, it's not hurting you. It's not changing your health one way or another. You love smoking. And here's some of the reasons why it's good and beneficial for you to continue smoking. How crazy is that? But it's true. And that's what happened in her session. And that doesn't mean it would happen in anyone else's session, but that's what happened to her. Oh, I am past 9:30, but I'm going to see if there's anything else. Okay. Compared to BQH, Renee said, is there any problems? What is the most? Okay. Well, I'm going to assume you mean in practicing. Well, one of the reasons I created BQH was a lot of former QHHT practitioners, and of course, I'm one. I actually was Dolores's first level 3 practitioner. I helped her set the program up and bring others into the concept of the level 3 practitioners years ago. But things have gotten more restrictive that I can see, and that is the biggest. That's the biggest thing, the restrictive thing, and a lot of requirements that weren't around when Dolores was alive. Another reason BQH was born. Okay. Yes, one more course. Is it the same? No, it is not the same, Karen. It's not the same at all. Go back and listen to the very first things I said in this video, replay it. BQH is not a copy. As a matter of fact, in many significant ways, it is the opposite of some of the key tenets of QHHT. I would never want to disrespect Dolores's course by just replicating it and putting my name on it, because I saw other people do that, and I thought that was awful. And I never thought I would really teach a course, but it became absolutely imperative because humans are different. We need a new way of working, and it needs to be more inclusive, and it needs to be more flexible, and it needs to be more creative. And that's what BQH is. Okay, gosh, I'm so late. Okay. Yes, let's see. Nina says she addressed a smoking question with the client just this past Sunday. Hassan said he does this because he has a nervous tick. Well, there you go. A lot of people enjoy it. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning. I'm going to have to get off so I can get ready to connect up with Candy and Laura over on Facebook. If you would like, we're going to do a live show over there at the top of the hour. You can find me on Facebook at Candace craw-goldman /love. That's right. Or just look up my name on Facebook, and it's public and anyone can go watch us over there. We're going to talk to Laura and Candy about It's You Guru. and their adventures at Dimensions of Disclosure. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Thank you so much for your support of BQH and quantumhealers.com. It is most appreciated. You can find out anything you would like about the course on the quantumhealers.com website. And I will also, for those of you who are curious, I have an article where I have written, I wrote it a while ago, and I should beef it up a little bit, but I have an article about what's the difference between the two courses, in case you still have questions. Okay, I'll link all of that below when I can get to it. And now I need to get ready for Candy and Laura on the other channel of Facebook. All right, bye everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Thank you.